So in Storyboard, a component is essentially a control object that is defined separately from the main model and can be reused in an application multiple times to repeat common behaviors such as sliders or drop-downs or other things like that. In Storyboard 9, we've made some adjustments to the component workflow to help improve their usability. So I'm going to show off some of those now. To create a component, you're just going to right-click on any control that you want to turn into your component and create the component. So just as an example, oh, that's a layer, so I can't do that. But if I right-click on my control, I can create a new component, and then you'll notice that the legacy control component wizard is still here, but that's been deprecated, so you are encouraged to use the new control component creation, which will take a name for your component and a simple description. This name is an important keyword that's going to enable some of the functionality that I'm talking about today, so make sure you pick your name properly because you won't be able to change it afterwards. And then once you've created your component, you're going to notice that a project has been created in the at folder of your main project. So this at folder is designed to contain all of the components subprojects that you have in your application. So each sub-project has its own model. It's going to have its own assets as well, like scripts or images potentially. So you can see my new component was created here as well, although it doesn't really consist of much. So for going forward, I'm going to abandon my component, and I'm just going to focus on some of the included components that are already here in this project. So Storyboard comes installed with 15 fully fleshed out components already. So I'm going to take a look at some of those here. You can import them through the components view. So just down here, you click this button and you're able to import any of these default components into your project. And then once they are in your project, so my project already includes them all, so they are all already here. Once they're here, you can simply drag and drop them into your application to start using them. So when you include a component into your app, it creates a dependency, which is how the application knows that the component needs to be included on export. So if we take a look at the application properties view, you can see all your component dependencies inside the project. And how it works on export is the exporter will grab any component, the model of any component, and just include it in the GAP file on export. So the exported result will include all the components that you depend on, and any assets from those components as well will be included automatically in that exported result. So the result will look identical to what you're used to. So in this dependencies field, you can easily add or remove dependencies as you wish by just adding them here. So I've already included all of the components as dependencies in this project, so that's why nothing's showing up, but you could delete some here if you don't want them anymore. Or, I'll add that one back because I do actually want it. And what's cool about the way that dependencies are set up is that components can also include other components as dependencies. So setting up your dependencies like this can help keep duplication to a minimum. If you have common sub-elements that are reused inside your components, then you should really make a component out of those sub-elements and then include them in your other components. And this helps to reduce duplication and keep things organized. So just as an example, if I take a look at the calendar component, a cool example of this dependency chain is actually the theme component. So the theme component is just a collection of variables that define common theme elements, like background colors, foreground colors, and fonts. And what you can do, this theme element is included in the Storyboard installation. You can include that theme as a dependency on other components. And then it just makes it very easy to theme your application. So I'm going to show off another improvement to component editing, where if you edit a component, any of its changes that you make will be automatically propagated up the dependency chain to whatever models need those changes. So without an extra step to apply the changes, it'll just happen automatically, which makes it much easier. So if I look at my theme here, it's currently defined with the dark theme definitions, but if, say, I wanted to see what it looked like with another theme, so I have two themes defined here. I've got my dark and my light. You could potentially add more if you like, but if, say, I wanted to see what it looks like in light theme, all I have to do is copy these variables in my component. I'm going to paste them here. And then once I do that, as you can see, the changes I just made in my theme component are propagated automatically up to calendar, which depends on it, and then subsequently my main application here, which now you can easily just see what this looks like in light theme. So yeah, back to the theme component. Using this to change your theme is very easy. It already has a few Lua functions that will easily let you change the theme by calling set theme, and it also has some the ability to add listeners, listener callbacks, if you ever need to pay attention to when the theme changes in some other component or in your main application. So taking a bit of a deeper look at some of the Lua involved. Here, let me close out of some of these editors. Some of the Lua involved in some of these components. We've also added a few syntax improvements for working with scripts inside your components. So you'll see this syntax in some of the require statements. So require at theme. So this at prefix is a shorthand that lets you specify the scripts directory of a particular component inside your project. So in this case, at theme will resolve to the scripts directory inside the theme component inside your project. So if you were to write that out using the standard syntax, you would get this. And then if you do not specify an actual Lua file, then it will automatically include the main Lua file for this component, which is the same name as the component itself. Or what you can do, so for at dropdown, which specifies the scripts directory of the dropdown component, you can then append another Lua file within that, within the scripts directory. and then that's just shorthand for what you would write out like this. So yeah, just a shorthand that lets you simplify some of your scripting when you're working with these components in Lua. And so yeah, there's some improvements to our component workflow, and I definitely encourage you to check some of these components out and experiment with them yourself going forward.